All right, hello. um, Today, I guess I didn't have it in me to change. Now, if that isn't words of wisdom. This is the second video I'm filming today. The first video was my podcast because I'm wearing the exact same thing in the exact same space and with my hair looking the exact same. You get the idea. But today, or at least right now, we are going to talk through my Make 9 for 2025. So, in front of me on my couch, I've pulled everything that I can, pretty much, except for almost everything. Definitely everything that can fit on this couch that I plan to use for my Make 9. Now, my Make 9 is not just a Make 9, it's more like a Make 11, but I think there is still a possibility of me completing it for a number of reasons. One, today is March 8th, Happy Women's Day, and I've already completed 3 of the initial Make 9 items that I came up with. And 2, I'm a fascinator, and 3, I have gumption. I have the audacity to dream big dreams, big knitting dreams. So without further ado, I'm not going to go in any particular order because I'm not going to knit them in any particular order. I think I'll just start with the stuff that's already whips because that makes the most sense and we can just get them out of the way. First and foremost, we have my artisan cardigan that is coming up. I just realized I knew I must have been forgetting something and I was, but I will get up to get it for you. A, because it's not even a step away, and B, because yeah, that's really it. This is a Sans Garn pattern. I'm knitting it in Double Sunday and Double Sunday by Sans Garn, and Isayer Soft Silk Mohair was my first time using that gorgeous, gorgeous mohair. And I just started the increases for the underarm, or I guess underarm, Jesus. And so yeah, this is trucking along. And then the second one that is also already in a whip, but I'm not going to show you the whip because I put the whip away. If you want to see the whip, say whip 10 more times. You can watch my second podcast where I show it, but it's the Olga sweater, which I'm knitting in Knitting for Olive Merino, held double, in the color Rust. And also knitting it in Sans Garn Double Sunday in the color Almond, which is a petite knit colorway. I swear I do not actually kiss petite knit's bum, but you might think so from the way I knit, but the way I see it is someone once described her, I don't remember who, as being kind of just a safe option, which I think is a good way to put it. Do not stay away from my knits. I love you, but stay away from my knits. The writing is clear, the stuff is, I'm just not worried, you know? So to knit a stockinette garment is, chill. So those are the first 2 that are already kind of coming along. That's part of the reason why. Next up, and what will likely, I think, also be, I'm trying to keep my yarn away from my cat, and that might be a stupid thing for me to attempt to do. Next thing I think I will be casting on is the Conwy slip over by the Knit Pearl Girl, Sophie of the Knit Pearl Girl, I believe, and I'm knitting it in Sans Garn Alpaca in this lovely forest green color. I have not begun this yet, but I think it might be my next cast on because spring is upon us and I love things without sleeves. as you can see. I'm wearing my Maggie cardigan today. I am very excited to knit one of these patterns. There's a number of patterns by the Knit for Roll that I own and want to make, namely the Stamford. I think it's Stamford. It's like a Henley style pullover, and it's like a worsted weight gauge, and the Semper pullover v-neck. Those are two that I own and want to do eventually. But this alpaca, I've just put some of it in here, which is my very first, the one that started it all, Knitting Swan bag. And this is the poppies print, and they are adorable, and honestly the pockets really do something for me. So next we have of my plans, and by next I just mean next in front of me. The order will be a surprise to both you and I. So I believe I will be knitting a Seaway pullover by Ozetta in an interesting combination. I really like green, as you will. I really like green. So this is Santa's Garden Sunday. So I bought this from Mommy Rules when they were on Queen West, when they were going out of business and everything was like super sale. Like I didn't plan anything. I just was like, here's a shelf, saw it, and was like, scoop, mine now, to the counter. So I have 6 balls of this that I plan to hold with the Knitting for Olive Merino in Dusty Artichoke together to make a Seaway pullover, which alternatively I may end up not holding them together and get like a mohair and use one or the other. But they are, as you can see, very, very different colors. That was sarcasm if you couldn't tell. But I have 6 balls of that Knitting for Olive as well. So either way, I have a garment quantity. We'll see if it ends up being one dusty artichoke color or like garment, or 2 dusty artichoke color garments, depending on my self-control. But these 2 can now go to the floor. And that's almost everything. We have a few more to go in front of me, and then I have one I have to grab from my stash. So in here we have Joy. All yarn is joy, but so this is the Camerose Midnight Sol, which is lace weight yarn, but it's not a, excuse me, it's not a silk mohair blend. It's a 54% baby alpaca, 36% lysol, and 10% merino wool. And this is in the shade Burnt Orange, which is another color I love. It's looking way more vibrant on the screen than like in real life, but no complaints here. And I'm planning to hold it with Knitting for Olive's merino in the shade Autumn, which I believe is a discontinued color. It's also looking very vibrant right now for whatever reason. No complaints, but like, just so you know, this is not accurate. And my, I think, plan is to make a cabled Sari Nordlin pullover in a DK weight. On the docket is the Vivi pullover, the Ballard pullover, and then sort of those are the 2 top contenders, I would say. And then distantly behind is the Colette pullover or the Mila pullover, which are all patterns that I have. And when I feel less intimidated by the idea of doing cables, I know they're not that hard. I know they're not that complicated. I've just never done them before. Therefore, I am a little nervous, but that is why, part of why I'm planning to do the Conwy pullover first, because it's got a cable detail down the front, but it's just like a single one down the center, and I feel like that's a good way to like dip my toes in. And then maybe following that, I will do that Seaway, which is all over cables, but they're like I don't know, they're all over cables, but it just feels less intimidating than a Sari Norlin because it's all the same cable, if that makes sense. Whereas the Vivi, which I think is my favorite visually, but looks the most intimidating process-wise. So we'll see what happens, but that's in this basket here. Shout out to IKEA. And then last on the couch, and I can spread my legs out, is a nut. I really like knitting for a life. Like, I didn't realize, like, it sounds, whatever. I do. I just do. I love the color selection. Like everyone says, I love merino because it's easy to not think about. I have a fabric shaver. I'm chill. This is 9 balls of dusty moose or dark moose. Ooh, not dusty moose. I've been seeing dark moose, like dusty moose, a lot because my store just got a shipment in. But this is dark moose. I plan to hold this double to make a Monday sweater by Petit Knit, or the It's Not a Sweatshirt pattern by Knitting for Olive or Pernille Larson from the Knitting for Olive book. Both I own. Both are raglans with a fold over collar. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. Like I said, Petit Knit feels safe, and so there's that. But I've also heard things about other like the Knitting for Olive patterns being a little bit, you know, just a little tougher to get through. So, but it's a raglan, so I'm like, I've done enough that I feel pretty confident about it. And it's just nice to have a basic, but I won't be doing this like soon because I just finished my Dover pullover. Say that 10 times. Dover pullover, Dover pullover. Anyway, which was a raglan. So I just, before I get into another raglan, I think I'll try some other stuff, namely the Conwy. I do think that'll be next because spring is upon us. Not really. I live in Canada, but like preparing for spring. So that's that. Where's my notebook? So a couple things I want to say. This is an acquisition I got. It's a necklight I got from Indigo. I wanted the black one, but they didn't have it in stock at the store I went to, which is a bit annoying. But this is great. Like, it's bendy. It's got, this is such a tangent, but like there's a one light turn thing at the back, right? So yeah, but it works independently. So I just turned the other one on. It's got 3 dimness. It's pretty standard, $25, which is, I think there's another like neck light that I can't remember what the Lumiere I think it is. But I also like, it's like you can change the temperature. Oh wait, you do that on the back, I forgot. So yeah, anyway, this has been really great for late night knitting or knitting like on the couch with when you're watching TV with other people. You don't want to like have the big lights on, or on the bus when it's late. Like technically yes, there's usually a light above, but I do really like this. Like it just feels quite nice. I can point it exactly where I want and I feel like a cyborg, which generally I'm a fan of, I think, because I'm a bit of a techie person because I'm a photographer. So that's almost all my plans. I will go through one more that I have in person to show you the yarn, and then the second I will just talk about, and I've lost my notebook, so the plans have gone awry. But the last thing I will show you is my planned sweater for my son, which, it's already kicked up, so arguably should be one of the next things I do. But whenever I see a pretty blue but I don't really wear blue, so I can be like, I'll just use it to make something for my son. Not because like his actual favorite color is yellow, which I think is 100% because of me. Because yeah, my favorite color is yellow. My favorite colors are yellow and green. But every time I buy a blue, I use like, I can be like, I'll make something for baby because he's a boy. I don't really care. I really don't care. People to this day still think he's a girl because he's so darn pretty. But those lashes are very unnecessary. But anyway, this is Cascade 220, and I believe the non-superwash, and I plan to make this into the Guernsey Genzer or the Louis pullover, which are both Sandsgarn patterns that I own. Yeah, I would like to make him like a sweater each year. And I did one last year. It was just like a free-handed raglan, but I'm tempted to, I just really love the way that pattern looks. It looks very similar to like the Ingrid or like the, what's the other one that she did? The Ingrid or the, I want to say Storm sweater by Bettina. It's sort of got like those sections of different textures. And I think it'll look really lovely in this heather blue. And yeah, we'll see if I stick to it. I'm very okay with my plans changing. I think that's one of the coolest parts about yarn is that it can be many things. It can be something and then be turned into something else with just some ribbit, and some steam. So that's that. The last thing I will mention is a project that is currently hibernating because I ran out of yarn, and or at least I'm almost out of yarn. And I don't have it with me. I left it at my partner's place when I put it on hold because I was leaving with a bag that was already full of yarn. And it's the Lakes Tea by Ozetta, which I'm knitting in a Kins & Co. sport weight yarn. I can't remember what their sport weight like line is called. It's either Chickadee or I think it's Chickadee. And the color is Stream, and I'm holding it with a Gepard Garn soft silk mohair. So it's actually bulkier than the pattern calls for. I think the pattern calls for a fingering in a lace, so I'm holding a sport in a lace, so I'm knitting it on a slightly bigger needle in a slightly smaller size, and it's gonna be great when I finally get the rest of the Kins & Co. And that's like really close to being done. Like it's got another sleeve, like short sleeve, and the rest of the body, which I've gotten quite a ways. Oh, and then the neckline. So that's part of why I feel like I hadn't complete my kind of insane plans for the year. We shall see if I eat these words in 9 months, but I feel like I'm on a good pace. I'm really into knitting right now. I tend to be obsessed when I get into something. And this is no different. So that's, I believe, my entire Make 9 plans for the year. I have the dream. I'm looking to see if I complete all of these. I do still have more yarn. So I have a couple things that might happen, but are probably for next year. One being the Lulu slipover, which, no, the Heli slipover by Sandsgarn, or the Amy slipover by Sandsgarn, which I have yarn for. And then the second that is not in my near future, but in my distant future, my very distant future, is the Maggie cardigan, because I have yarn for that. And then the other thing is a diamond twill pullover, like slipover, which is a pattern from the 52 weeks of knitting. It'll be either that or like a tulip loop vest, depending on if I can get more of this particular yarn. It's like a green worsted to Aran weight yarn. But those are the other ones that like have potential. Oh, and then I would like to finish off the, like not finish off, but like get the, so I have 6 balls of Sandsgarn Pure Kit in this in the same green as the alpaca I showed at the beginning. And I would, this is my last, I think I'm done filming, but I would need 10 more balls of that to make a sweater's quantity of Pure Kit, which can be used for a number of either DK or worsted weight. patterns, and I have a plethora of that, so we shall see. But those are like future plans. We'll see what happens. But that's it for me for now. That's my Make 9. That is what I've got so far, but things can change. I really like how nice I am to myself about that. And like not feeling obligated to stick to something and follow the joy, as I like to say, because this is a hobby. It should be fun. People say in their podcast, and it's true. So that's enough rambling for me today. Thank you for watching me ramble about my Make 9 for this year. I'm going to stop waving this ball of yarn around and bid you farewell. Like and subscribe if you'd like. I'm trying to like say that and not laugh after. But thanks for joining me, and have a wonderful rest of your day, folks. I'll talk to you later. Bye.